Why is Wizard 101, a 2008 browser-looking MMO, still alive in 2026 while modern AAA games keep collapsing? I don't know what it is, but at some point, MMOs just died. I know you can say, oh, but World of Warcraft's alive, Path of Exile is alive. Really? I'm talking new MMOs. They just stopped developing new MMOs, and they're always somehow money dump fumbles into actual trash. We tried with New World. That was just a new way to waste money. The last new MMO I can remember actually succeeding is Elder Scrolls Online, and that was 15 years ago. Since then, we've had MMO launches with the lifespan of gas station sushi rolls. Remember Bless Online? No? Exactly. That game launched, died, got revived, died again, got reincarnated, died a third time. Wildstar, Terra, Defiance, the day before. Okay, that one technically wasn't an MMO, but I just wanted an opportunity to laugh at it. That shit was crazy. Meanwhile, Wizard 101 is sitting there in the corner of the room, somehow living. You wake up every year expecting an announcement. Nope, still there. It's still Wizard 101. The most they did was throw in a battle pass and that one guy who hacked the server that got shot by the Wizard police. I don't think Wizard 101 counts as a game anymore. It really is just more of a historical landmark. We've buried so many MMO launches at this point that Steam just needs its own cemetery tab. And you know what's crazy? Modern MMOs always show up with the same sales pitch. We've reinvented the genre. Everybody plays it for 2 weeks. The streamers leave, the YouTubers leave, the hype dies. Then 6 months later, they're explaining why 97% of the player base vanished. They hit us with a, we're listening to community feedback. Translation, we have no idea what's happening. Also, for an unrelated reason, we laid off about 85% of the staff. Wizard 101 doesn't have this problem. The people playing Wizard 101 in 2026 are the same people who were playing in 2010. At least, I thought that was the case. Then they released on console? What? I did get excited for this, but apparently it's not even crossplay, so I guess they're still trying to catch up to modern times. Now here's the thing. People always explain Wizard 101 survival with one word, nostalgia. And yeah, nostalgia helps, but nostalgia didn't save every MMO from the 2000s. If nostalgia was enough, so many MMOs wouldn't have died out. Looking at you, Raider Z, you still have my heart. Modern MMOs launch with an identity crisis. They're trying to be competitive PvP games, hardcore raid games, casual social games, crafting simulators, housing simulators, esports, and then somehow the next big Twitch category all at the same time. Wizard 101's entire pitch is just, you see that evil guy? Go kill him with these Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's the game. That's it. And what surprised me the most, though, is how well it actually holds up. The combat sounds incredibly boring when you explain it to somebody. You click cards, wait about 30 seconds, you click more cards. Fantastic. Riveting gameplay. Then, 20 hours later, you're stacking buffs, planning ahead, optimizing decks, farming gear, arguing with strangers because somebody stole your feint on the boss. You got secondary schooling, spell writing, enhanced cards, magic weaving. There's actually a lot, and it really did start to hurt my brain once you progress far enough with a lot of these trick bosses in particular. But at the same time, it's so simple. A lot of it boils down to use buff 5 times, then big damage. Right now, I'm about level 70, so I think that's a solid bit of experience to talk on this game. But the crazy part is, I'm still a noob. I'm a noob to them. The game quietly tricks you into caring. And the progression helps too, since your character actually does feel permanent. Modern live service games are obsessed with seasonal resets. Every few months, they show up with a new progression system, a new currency, a new battle pass, and a new reason your old grind just didn't matter. Wizard 101, they just kept building on top of itself. I'm sure you could find 2009 code still embedded into the game. The wizard you made years ago is still your wizard. It's just such a simple idea that it's refreshing. The graphics are obviously ancient, but they're ancient in the same way old cartoons are ancient. There have been a few graphical updates, and honestly, one of the funniest things you'll notice is that as the game progresses and you go into later and later worlds, the graphics just get better because the game's like layered on top of itself. The game looks exactly like people remember it. If you swing by Grizzleheim, you'll still see Nick Jonas just there chilling. This actually leads me to my next point. Clickbait title aside, here's some things that Destiny 2 did compared to Wizard 101. Destiny 2 was bigger. It made more money. It had more players. Wizard 101 didn't beat Destiny 2 in popularity. It beat Destiny 2 in something much more important, convincing players that their time wasn't being wasted. Destiny had one of the biggest sunsetting issues ever. If you bought Destiny 2 on launch day and still have the disc sitting on your shelf, congratulations, you got yourself a collector's item. Because the game that's on that disc, it just doesn't exist anymore. Entire campaigns got deleted, destinations deleted, years of content shoved into a vault somewhere. Imagine logging into Wizard 101 one day and finding out Marleybone just got deleted because they needed hard drive space. Wizard 101's progression is basically just just a giant tower of bad things stacked on top of each other since 2008, and it works. What surprised me the most is how much effort is actually in this thing. The voice acting genuinely caught me off guard. Wizard 101 is older than some of the people playing it, and yet more than half of the game is voiced. Meanwhile, every time I play a modern Pokemon game, characters walk onto the screen, start dramatically moving their mouths, and absolute silence comes out. We're in 2026. The 2008 Wizard game figured this out before some billion-dollar franchises. I think the best way to describe Wizard 101 isn't that it's groundbreaking or the best MMO ever, but it's just genuinely super consistently very good. Good feels like too weak of a word to use here, but everything is just good and you'll have like a nice time playing it. I don't play it enough to buy the like year-long memberships. I usually just hang around, and every few months when I get the itch, I buy a 1 month and just roll with it. The art style aged surprisingly well too, not because it's technically impressive, it's absolutely not, but because every world has its own identity. You can show me a screenshot from Marleybone, Mushu, Dragonspire, Grizzleheim, Celestia, and I immediately know where I am. My enjoyment as a kid came from, cool spell. And now my enjoyment as an adult comes from, cool spell. And then there's all the side content: pets, gardening, fishing, housing, monstrology. I expected most of it to be forgotten activities from 2010, but a lot of it is surprisingly fleshed out, and people care about each of them. Like I said before, I never really felt like the game was wasting my time. Every level mattered, every world mattered. Now don't get me wrong, Wizard 101 absolutely has its problems. The monetization's weird, Crown Shop's weird, the subscription is weird, and the fact that I still have to explain 3 different currencies to new players is weird. But despite all that, I think Wizard 101 understood something a lot of modern live service games forgot. People aren't just investing money into these MMOs, they're investing time. And if you keep respecting that time, people will keep coming back. I think that's the real reason Wizard 101 survived, not because it's the greatest MMO ever made, not because it's revolutionary, and not because it has some secret formula that nobody can replicate. It survived because it knows exactly what it is. While every new MMO spent their last decade trying to become the future of gaming, Wizard 101 just kept being Wizard 101. No identity crisis, no desperate pivots, just more worlds, more spells, more bosses, more wizard. And somehow that was enough.